Hey everyone, welcome to Atlas Avenue Beat Season 2 recap episode starring Robert Lamb. I am the writer of Atlas.
Okay.
And starring, once again,
hey,
in every episode,
we're
Jack
turning
Austin.
to Season 2.
Yeah, Jack
James
Austin's here
Locke.
as James Locke.
Yeah, I am here as James Locke.
Well, you're not as James Locke.
Yeah,
you're
I am.
here as Jack Austin.
Okay.
Because Jesus, I can't even talk right now.
Okay.
But James doesn't sound like Jack.
No.
He sounds a little bit like Jack, I guess.
Well, no.
Okay.
But okay.
All right, cool.
So
Sounds
we're
good.
trying something brand new,
Right.
which is recording this for Patreon, not only for
Audio.
your listening pleasure.
But for your viewing pleasure as well. So if you donate to us on Patreon, you can
See our faces and be like,
Hi.
why am I doing this?
Yeah. You might regret it later, but whatever.
Yeah, let's talk about Season 2, shall we?
Let's do it. Season 1. We'll do it just really quick. We're going to go through just the story elements, and then we'll talk a little bit about the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Right.
Basically, Season 2 picks up right after Season 1, where James is in the hospital. 'Cause
Horse
he got
pistol.
shot.
Yep.
And guess what? There's going to be spoilers on this, so if you haven't listened to the rest of it,
if you're listening
do
to
it,
the
'cause
Season
I'm
2
just gonna-
recap
Yeah.
before you've listened to Season 2,
yeah. I mean, that's your fault, not mine.
yeah, there's going to be some stuff you missed.
Spoiler alert. And actually, we're going to spoil not only this, but like movies,
Yeah.
TV shows.
Yep.
Season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Your favorite songs.
The Marvel films. Yeah, like everything.
Jaws.
Rosebud was the sled.
Yep.
Jaws was the shark.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing
He
it
was
all.
the killer the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. No, we're going to spoil some stuff. So obviously, if you haven't listened to Atlas Avenue Beat Season 2, that's...
And we have
Oh,
been
well.
trying to release Atlas Avenue Beat on a lot more regular schedule.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things we're going to talk about is because the finale to Season 2 came out. There was like a big gap
Yeah.
before it came out, and there's a reason for that. But we'll get to that after we wrap up kind of the story elements.
Right. We'll talk about the story, then we'll talk about why it took so long.
Yeah. And what's to come.
Yeah.
So basically the story, it picks up. James got shot. Season finale by Desmond Grant.
Yep.
He wakes up in the hospital, and now he has a baboon heart.
Monkey heart.
Yeah. I
As
don't know
it's
why.
often so referred to.
You know, and I just watched like some show recently where like they said like somebody had a baboon heart, and I was like, really? I'm like, now people are going to think I copied that.
We're starting to see that so often.
Yeah, we are seeing like
Spoiler
some-
alert,
some stuff.
Cop Doctors now has Medical Police
On
Netflix.
Netflix. What's
And
that
we've
about?
been recording Cop Doctors for quite some time. I don't know when their production started.
I mean, it usually
for
starts
Medical
earlier,
Police.
but I mean, the first episode of Cop Doctors came out in 2015.
There you go.
And then we redid it.
Here we
with
are,
you and I.
5 years later.
Yeah, something's fishy about that. But I didn't copy anything with the baboon heart. I wrote this a long time ago. This was actually still part of Doppel Avenue Hurt before we
which
remade
is
it.
yeah, right. So we have a lot of people who still message us going, "What happened to Doppel?
Yeah.
I used to listen to Doppel." Atlas Avenue Beat
Is the new Doppel.
is the new Doppel. Different voices, same story.
Pretty much same
Pretty
story.
much the same story. Yeah.
Some different jokes. I've
Yep.
tweaked some things, but for the most part, it's the same story. Actually, season 1 of Atlas was kind of
hold
its
on,
own thing.
hold on. Finish the recap for season 2.
Well, no, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
So season 1 of Atlas was kind of its own thing, its own story, although I did spoof different film noir
right.
films. But season 2 actually is mostly I'm spoofing a film called Sunset Boulevard. So if you've never seen Sunset Boulevard, it's about this eccentric old lady who used to be a film star who takes in this writer who's, I think he's on the run from the police or something. And like, it's been a while since I've seen it, but it's a really good film noir. And basically he lives with her, and then she kind of has this fascination with him, and things get pretty dark and heavy. And that's kind of what I'm spoofing with
Right.
this. That's why there's
With
Julianne Good.
Julianne Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, actually, when I looked, because season 2 has a lot of voices of people I found on Reddit, and I was looking for someone to capture that. Julianne Good, from Gloria Swanson is the actress's name from Sunset Boulevard, something like that, eccentric personality. And luckily, we found somebody with
And
Jodie
her
Swenson,
name was?
Jodie Swenson.
Thank you,
she did
Jody,
that. So we appreciate that because that
for
was
tormenting my character all of season 2.
Yeah, she kind of. That's the thing is, Locke gets in trouble with the police. That he used to work for the precinct, the KHPD,
as he's getting ready to start with her.
Right, and then she kind of suggests her place as a refuge for him to get away,
Right.
and he uses it, and then slowly she starts to fall for him.
And at first he's like, yeah, no, there's no way I'm doing that. I'm going to turn down this whole case.
Right.
And then it's, oh, God, the police want to arrest me. I'll take the case.
Yeah, I'll take the case and I'll stay with you. And he does. And then he starts finding out that her butler's a little strange. Obviously, a lot of the characters in the story are always strange. But and then he meets Jane, who's a reporter.
Jane.
And she helps him because she's going to give him she wants a story and she's going to help him solve the case.
Right.
So they both kind of get what they need out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts to fall for Jane, and Julianne Good does not take a liking to her.
Does not enjoy that.
Does not enjoy that. And she does not enjoy any of Locke's friends who visit at
Paul,
one point. Yeah.
Edith.
This actually was the first time that Paul had his own episode, too, out of the series.
Yeah.
Normally, Locke is in pretty much every scene, but this was one of the times where I'm like, you know what? Paul's going to have his own side story, which ties in later. Because, spoiler alert, Julianne Good becomes the Mad Bomber. Or not becomes, she was the Mad Bomber.
The whole time.
The whole time. She was blowing up places because she kind of resented a lot of people for casting her out of the film industry. No pun intended. Or maybe, you know what? Pun intended.
One character I really liked and was kind of jealous that I didn't get a chance to do anything for because I thought his lines were spectacular was the director.
Oh, yeah, B.C. Baxter.
B.C. Baxter. I read for him. I was like, dang, I want to be this guy.
B.C. Baxter is based on a character, C.C. Baxter, which is from an old film, one of my favorites, The Apartment. And so I just named him B.C. Baxter, and it sounded like a good director's name.
Yeah.
Even though everything's like old-timey, but it really isn't old-timey. It's all taking place now.
Right.
It just, I like trying to throw all these old-timey references into this because he doesn't use technology.
Right.
And I don't know. It's just kind of like a weird...
Always has the notepad.
Yeah. Notepad, takes notes, doesn't
Rotary
use a cell
phone.
phone. Yeah. The one payphone in the city he goes to make calls.
Yep.
Yeah. Hails a taxi, doesn't use Uber. Like, I mean, it's just stuff like that.
Yeah. Which I don't think you could do that anymore.
What? A payphone?
Hail a taxi.
Oh.
Not here where we are.
Well, not here, but in New York.
I'm assuming in New York you can. I've never been.
I mean, this is based in Chicago.
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's based in Chicago. Or
The
not
more
Chicago,
you know.
but sorry, Illinois, like near Chicago. Kenneth Heights is a made-up place.
Now it's all
near
a lie.
Chicago. I'm sorry.
You
I
said
should have
Chicago.
said Illinois.
Our
Should've said
expectations
Illinois,
were here,
but
then you generalized it, and now they're
right.
here.
Well, I'm a piece of shit, Jack.
I know.
Deal with it.
Love you too, bud.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm trying to think what
he has notes in front of me trying to decipher what note he wrote for himself.
No, I want to see what I was trying to... one of the other things I was going to point out is something that I put into the show was I wrote out Angela. Now, I wrote out Angela back when it was Doppel Avenue Hurt.
Right.
But then I just decided to keep it that way and decided to kind of have like this rotating female lead. Mainly because of like Bond films. That's kind of what it's always like a new, like he just forgets the woman that he was with the last
completely.
movie. Yeah.
And Angela was played by
none other than
my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did a great job.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't know. I don't like it.
I know.
Babe, you don't sound like that, and I love you.
Does she donate to Patreon? Because
she's
going to watch you do that.
We do.
All right. Yeah, she played that, but sadly I wrote her out of the series. But you know what? Who knows?
Fighting
Maybe
for
eventually
you, babe.
she'll
want you to come back.
She'll reappear. And then that's why Jane became like the new love interest. And then who knows what's going to happen with season 3.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff. And then
So speaking of season 3.
Right.
When I joined up with Seven Lamb and doing the podcast, one of the first roles I ever read for was a guy I just now saw in season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of scheduling and life happening so that they had to re-record for Atlas that was originally Doppel.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why it's taken a really long time. Do we record new people? Do we, keep the old story? Do we make adjustments?
Right.
So that was part of the timing issue, like to the point where just now I read this. I go, oh, this is one of the first things I ever read for.
Yeah, you read for like this bad guy, the short bad guy part.
Yep.
And that was the first time you were ever in the studio. You recorded, I think, for that part.
And now we're caught up.
Now we're there.
Now we're caught up to
Which
there.
is cool because people who did listen to Doppel Avenue Hurt
Yep.
and they wanted to start listening to new episodes. Sadly, we had to remake it,
Right.
But we remade it as Atlas Avenue Beat, and now the new season 3, is going to start releasing, and it'll be all new episodes that you haven't heard.
It'll be brand new stuff that the old listeners of Doppel and the new listeners of Atlas will both be on the same ground.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And luckily, because I wrote a lot of it already, season 3 is actually almost done from the writing standpoint, and now we're at the recording standpoint.
Just to record it, yeah.
Yeah, so we're just recording and then editing, which will take a little while. So we're not exactly sure what the release date yet, but hopefully relatively soon for season 3. But we also, after basically, season 2 ends with a pretty big finale, a lot of action.
A lot of action. Well, you know what I mean? There was a lot of stuff that was written into season 3, or season 2, the finale rather. And I was like, wow.
Well, season 1,
a lot of stuff going on.
Season 1 finale was like 30-something minutes, maybe. Season 2 finale was nearly 70-something.
Yeah.
So, it was double that.
The more we release and the more stuff that comes out, we obviously watch our numbers on this side, the more the popularity of the show is starting to grow and people are starting to tune in and,
people are
and listen to it, which is really cool.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I always like to have a big finale because I feel like people invest into these episodes and these characters, and I always like to have, with all of our audio dramas, I like to have a pretty big finale.
Yeah.
But it is hell to edit, and I want to talk really quickly about why it took so long to come out. 2 reasons in particular, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but one of our main actors quit, couldn't record anymore, the voice actor for Paul, and that was one of the main characters.
Yeah.
So that kind of set us back a little bit, so we had to figure out who was going to voice that character. And luckily, I found a friend through a friend who doesn't live near us, but voiced the character and sent me the recordings. I actually sent him the script, and I said, listen, read this and listen to a couple episodes with the character Paul, and just if you can come close to it, it doesn't have to sound exactly, but just come close to his mannerism, the way he talks and stuff.
It's not that big. Well, it is a big deal if you're a big fan of the character.
Right.
But I was going to say, I don't sound anything like Keys, who was the first guy from
main,
Doppel.
Yeah.
I sound completely different inflection, different accent, different everything. So, I mean,
which
I don't know.
Which isn't it's not too big of a deal. I think it's just one of those things, you get used to a character. They want to keep hearing that same character, and it might throw them off when they first hear a different voice. But I think no one has complained about the new Paul, at all. And
everyone complains about James Locke.
No one complains about James Locke.
He doesn't sound the same.
No. Luckily, at least with Atlas, since we started anew, you took over the role, so it hasn't changed throughout Atlas. But yeah, adding a new character or a new actor for Paul kind of threw us off a little bit, took some time. The person recording for them had to kind of get the lines done, had a new setup with their mics and everything. So luckily we got that. But then the person who was editing for me, who's done a tremendous job with everything they've edited, Dylan Whitehead, he's done multiple podcasts for us. He's edited, but he started school around the time that he wanted all the voices. He's like, if you give me all the voices, I'll edit it. But I was missing some, and one of them was Paul. So by the time I got the voice for Paul, he's like, yeah, I can't finish this. School just started. I'll give you everything I already edited, and you just, if you want to finish it. So I had to take over editing, which I haven't done in a while.
Which you've told me this ratio before, which I don't think a lot of people know, is that a minute of podcast time usually takes about an hour of editing.
Yeah, so
especially for a huge,
at least for when I started, it was that way.
episode.
I'm a little bit quicker now, but yeah, for an episode that big, it still took a long time.
Yeah.
And even with half of it edited, he did half of it, but because it was a 70-minute episode, I still had to edit 30-something minutes.
70 hours of editing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. If you think about it, that's a crazy amount of time.
It was insane, and it took me a long time because I hadn't edited nothing to that extent in a while, so it took me a little bit to get back into it. But finally, we got it. We released it. It just took a while. So now our plan is hopefully to get everything written and recorded by everybody before
and
we start
hopefully
editing.
we can get him back when school's over or whatever.
Yeah,
If
I
he's
think
got
he'll
free time,
eventually
that'd be
come
really
back.
cool.
Yeah, because he helped us out a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dylan,
Yeah.
for all the hard work. Because
for everything.
Shoot, man,
That's the thing is a lot of the editors. We've had a lot of editors come and go over the period of Seven Lamb and when we started, and anybody who's edited for us, even if it's just been one episode, like I appreciate it. Same with all the voice actors. A lot of the voice actors are friends. Of like mine and yours, but like
who have said, I can come by for an hour on this day and maybe do a couple voices. The only people who really get in here a lot are obviously you and I.
Well, yeah. Sure.
Hope is in here a lot.
Hope Ennis, who plays she just plays the nurse in Atlas, but she's the main character in End of All Hope.
Right. I was going to say she's a main character in that show, and she does a lot of voices too.
Yep.
But other than that, it's a lot of scrambling, a lot of Reddit, a lot of finding people on the internet who can come in and record. So a lot of times that'll slow down production because first of all, you got to find somebody. Send them the script, get them to record it, send it to us, put it back in, make sure there's nothing that needs to be re-recorded.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Sometimes something does have to be re-recorded, and then it takes time to get them back in the studio or get them to record
And if
again.
they're not in the studio and they're in their own home studio, it's even harder to say, hey, by the way, I want this to sound like this, or hey, you missed this word.
And for the most part, like I don't pay friends to voice characters, like they're coming in and stuff. Jack doesn't get paid, and he probably never will. Just kidding.
No, that's okay, Robert.
But like,
who's voicing James in season 3?
You are, buddy. You are. No, but basically, oh God, as he plays the new audio.
I love this thing.
It's awesome.
Robert's favorite.
That is my favorite.
There.
It's a good sound.
Yeah.
But actually we got all new equipment, so we've actually been using a lot of the stuff that a lot of the money we've been making through either advertisers or Patreon has been going to buying all this new equipment because we're starting new podcasts, we're releasing more episodes. Like we said, Atlas Avenue Beat's going to release soon. Season 3. We just released the short stories with Paul and Arthur.
Yeah, and that's building up to season 3 getting started. Very exciting stuff. There's so much more stuff that we want to talk to you about, too, that we just can't yet.
Not yet. We can't really do... I don't want to, like, spoil anything for Season 3 yet because it's still in its infancy, like, with the production. So it is mostly written. We're editing. We're recording right now. We'll start editing soon, and hopefully soon, within the next few months, we'll get it out there. But, it's all trial and error. We just got to see what we can get done.
But we're very grateful for all of you that listen to Atlas Avenue Beat and email us and ask us when there's going to be another episode or, something about the show that you love it or even that you hate it, although we haven't seen any of those yet.
Yeah, no one said that they hated it yet.
Here's
which
hoping
is nice.
Somebody's going to go out of their way. I hate your show.
yeah, I listened to the recap.
Hey, man.
Sucks.
Listen to the recap, and I'm glad I did because I would never listen to that show.
And if you donate to Patreon, we appreciate it because, this is the first time we've uploaded anything video-wise. Like this, one of our podcasts. So this is pretty cool. And it's kind of testing it out. We're hoping to get more video footage of us recording.
And we're hoping
Patreon.
to try to live stream some stuff, too, eventually.
Yeah, eventually we'll start doing that on Facebook.
We're technological novices, despite the fact that we do so well with the podcast and all this.
Yeah, but that took a
while.
while.
As social media.
Yeah, that took a while, too.
Yeah. But as far as social media is concerned, we're still maybe we'll hire a 15-year-old kid. Yeah, it's so simple. All you got to do is this.
He just starts plugging in things.
Yeah, just starts plugging things in. All of a sudden, you guys are on the internet. You've been so for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you've been on the internet.
You guys are on.
In fact, you just can't get off
You got 10 followers.
Yeah, well, shit. That'd be awesome.
Drones up.
Drones up, A-Town down. Sorry. I don't know if he would say that.
I don't either.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. But for the most part, that's it for this recap.
Yeah.
If you
Locke is dead.
No. Although one more thing. He did get shot now again in the season finale, which is something I do like.
Yes, he did.
Now I just like having him get shot in the season finales. Maybe later on, like in another season finale, he's just like, is this the finale? Like,
is this
I don't want to get
where
shot.
I get shot?
Is this the part where I get shot?
I will quit this case immediately.
Is this episode 12?
If you don't shoot me. We don't
Yeah.
want to break the fourth wall that bad.
No. But we'll see.
But yeah, maybe.
Yeah. You know, I'll do anything
Yeah.
for a joke. So definitely follow us on all the social medias.
Yeah, we're trying to
Instagram,
stay up with it,
Twitter.
guys. Christmas is next week.
Wait.
Hope you enjoy it with your family in the new year in 2019.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
thank you.
No. Nope. Wrong. This is
Sorry.
coming out right now.
Yeah.
And you can follow
It's
us.
March
7 Lamb.
3rd, 2020.
Yeah. 7 Lamb podcasts on most of our social media.
Yep, I
And,
can tell you right now.
I know
Let's
on
see.
Facebook, 7 Lamb Podcasts, Instagram is 7 Lamb Podcasts. I think Twitter is too.
Twitter is, 7 Lamb
That's
Podcast.
all 7 Lamb Podcasts. But you can search if you listen on iTunes, you can search for 7 Lamb Productions. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud. We're trying to be on it. I think we're even on Spotify, some of our podcasts. I don't know if Atlas is, but I'll double check it.
Yeah.
And then
You can follow me
you can follow Jack has his own page.
at AudioJack727 on Facebook and Twitter.
If you want to see all the voiceover hijinks he gets into.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on that. Yeah.
So thank you guys.
And then if you aren't donating to Patreon and you would like to donate to Patreon, you can donate as little as $1 a month, and it all goes to helping us create content such as this. And if you're watching right now, we appreciate it. Thank you to all our patrons.
Yep.
Every
All our
little bit
patrons have
counts.
heard this before. If you see me on the street, you get a free hug. One free hug just for being a part of Patreon. And nobody's taking me up on that. It's probably because I smell awful.
That's true, but the studio gets really hot sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right,
well.
well, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Happy March. Already March in 2020.
Dang.
Wow.
Nice. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, time does fly, doesn't it, Robert?
Hey.
I love you. I know what you'll do.
Yeah,
You
you sneaky guy.
Guy.
Take it easy, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Outro music.
Ba-na-na-na. This has been a 7 Lamb production.